Kaffi, looking beautiful in the middle of the night. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I said just listening to you. I've been following you on this matter earlier in the day, so I was hoping to catch your second half of the situation.
I was having I didn't plan to come live. I just said, you know what, let me talk about this. Why? Because I want people to learn and understand the consequences of their actions. Because Nigerians don't understand. They will say, I didn't know now. I did not know. So it's always very good for you to. But that afternoon when I was on, I had 3,000 people watching me on Facebook, 1,000 plus here, 300 on YouTube. But I wasn't concentrating like I am now. That's why I like the night sessions. Even though I don't have a crowd that big, at least I know that at the end of the day, you guys will catch up and watch the video. So what is your opinion regarding this particular matter?
First of all, I want to say most of your analysis was from a very unemotional standpoint, because in Nigeria, we're very emotional about a lot of situations, and we don't like to look at things from either a logical perspective, a legal perspective, and the law doesn't have emotions. It's just about what you sign up for and all of that. And as much as people might think, I see a lot of comments here who are saying that if we stop advising men not to go to court, or stop advising, or when you're telling men, if you know you cannot hold yourself together, don't do traditional. I think it's from the perspective of knowing your demon and not putting yourself into a cage that you cannot get out of, really. So I don't think it's a direct, you're not telling somebody, go and put your hand in fire. You're just telling them, these are the kind of fires that are available. Watch how you burn. Practically, that's what you're saying. My own take is this. I believe, so my own take is this. You know my own situation, you understand, concerning my own marriage. And I think not going to court will also kind of like help me in a way. You understand? So I can understand the legal drama that goes on. Sometimes it can be for or against you, in this matter. It's just for you to understand the laws that govern your marital bond, really. And I would say for every woman, I think it's important that you have own your own space within your marital place. Own your space. Because at the end of the day, if things don't turn your way, everybody ends up by themselves, by who they are before, during, and after. So how you own your space is very, very, very important. So for me, you and Judy and whatever, the old triangle and fiasco going on, it's better off that things start to separate itself as it should, which is what will eventually happen. May has decided to take her own way of fighting back, which is using the legal angle. You and Judy tried their own way, which is I love her and I decided to do what I think is right in that position that I was in. No problem. Whatever it is, we should not be afraid of the consequences of our actions, and everybody will face it regardless. So that's what I think. Everybody is facing the consequences of their actions. So May decided to use the law to back her up. You decided to use the polygamy, traditional, a man owning up to his responsibility for a woman impregnated. No problem. You understand? So,
Absolutely. Now, if you have a son, would you advise him to marry in court?
For me, I think that is subjective to the kind of son I have. I am not preempting. I don't think I'm going to preempt him. I'm not going to do that. You understand? Like you mentioned something. You said if your son is the type that you've seen, that he cannot keep himself together, he's a philanderer, you will not advise him. That's what you said. So I would not on as like that is the way I will raise him, to not go for law. I will raise him to be a man of integrity, a man that upholds who he is and stands for his word. You understand? So I don't think I'm going to tell my son, don't go for court, go for traditional in case you mess up. I think that is a negative end to the raising part. However, if my son has grown into an adult that I realize that he has battles with keeping a woman and he's trying to make a decision, my own advice would be don't marry. It won't be don't go to court or don't go to trial. My own is that no, you're not ready. don't even marry. Why go through all of that? Don't marry. You understand? I'm not a kind of parent that would say, oh, because she's pregnant, marry her. I'm not going to do that. I don't believe that having kids should tie anybody into matrimonial bondage. Not everybody that have children are supposed to be parents. They don't even have parental qualities. People they born don't mean say they be or mama. Just, So I think tradition sometimes puts us in some kind of cage. Marry him. But unfortunately, humanity is complicated. Everything is not black and white. There are gray areas to human behavior. What if the person is a lunatic? He'll make a marry lunatic because he get belay for me, or make a marry person with no guess because I get belay for him. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think the choice is in the reasoning. I'm not going to tell my son to marry if he's not acting like what a responsible husband. Well, it's just like you, Mr. Daddy Freeze. You married Taste, but you did a court wedding. Why did you do court? It's because you already know how to uphold all the intricacies of what you are expected to do as a husband. You know that you're not going to stand for certain things. So you're not going to be caught on fresh with a legal scenario because you don't have that intention to go out of that legal framework. So you went to court. You didn't marry Taste, but traditionally you went to court. Do you get what I'm saying? Because of your integrity towards marriage. You get it? So that's what I think. That's what I think.
That makes so much sense, my darling sister.
Yeah.
So much sense.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you another thing.
Okay.
In this you and Judy matter, what is your advice to both parties?
First of all, I have
Daddy Freeze. Oh my God, you want people to see my nakedness.
Wear cloth, and I no go here. Shame that they see your life now.
Okay. You said what's my advice for both parties?
Yes.
Generally, I don't like to advise. Advice is almost like preempting a decision for people who will have to live with the consequences of those decisions. So who they blame when the decision is unfavorable or hard to consume? Because sometimes you can give somebody a very good advice, but they don't have the emotional tenacity, spiritual tenacity, or even the psychological capacity to weather the storm that advice would give them. So what's the essence of that advice? Do you get what I mean? So for me, I'll say everybody should, I think I would recommend, or I would expect that everybody mans up. This is the man up moment now. Everybody should man up to the consequences. Oh, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, Kaffi.
Yeah. So man up to the consequences of your actions. You understand? I don't expect people not to fight when they are being hurt. Don't expect people not to fight. If Yul is saying with my full chest, I've taken responsibility of being with another woman. I don't mind still having you, May, in my life. And May is saying, I'm sorry, that's not what I signed up for. I think she's a human being and allowed to make her right decision for herself. That I don't want that. You can't force me in an agreement into a, then it's no more an agreement. You can't force me into an agreement. Then for Mr. Yul, I would say the consequences of not carrying somebody along in something that, started off as just both of you and was contractual as till death do both of you parts, you need to deal with the consequences of that action, regardless of whatever is on your side. So use all the ammunition that is on your side to cushion the effect of the ammunition that is not on your side. So it's almost like playing attack and defense at the same time.
Chief Afe Babalola Are Kabiyesi Afe Babalola said something.
Okay.
He said advice is useless. The wise don't need it, and the foolish will not use it.
Exactly.
So it is useless. A wise man does not need the advice. A foolish man will not use it. So don't bother advising. Anyway, my darling sister, how are you and what is your take? My other sister here.
before you go, I want to quickly climb on that, your thoughts. I remember when you and I were having a conversation during my own situation, and I learned a lot about taking responsibility for a lot of. I learned a lot, and this knowledge has made me grow. Maybe if you have called me on channel live 6 months ago, I probably have a different perspective about it. But I've learned a lot to understand that owning accountability is one of the greatest resources any human being can have. And owning it is the most courageous thing anybody can be. And not everybody is built, no matter how celebrity status, tough they look, buff they look, there's a lot of hidden background to the foundation of their innate capacity to hold shame, guilt, betrayal, pain. Everybody have it on different thresholds. Because of those underlying thresholds, you can never tell the outcome until the outcome comes out.
Thank you very much. So finally, my darling sister, what are your thoughts?
First of all, thank you, Daddy Freeze, for having me, and good evening, everybody. The thing is that I've never been married back home, so I don't know anything about, like, I don't really know so much about marriage and marital life. But with things I saw, I know that polygamy can be very, very, very toxic. Trust me. And I don't see, my grandpa had 8 wives. So, yes. So, thank God my dad never took part of that. My dad has just my mom. And my mom gave him 9 beautiful kids. So, you know, they find anything for outside. So, I know it wasn't easy, even after because it's not just the present, it's the aftercome of it. When the man leaves, it becomes very, very horrible. Trust me, the family scatters.
Yeah.
Maybe that time he will be around, he will be holding everything together, trying to be the man of the house and all that. But once that man leaves, it's always horrible. It's not, I don't advise anybody to go into polygamy. And with the situation we're all having right now, everybody is like, all the men are becoming so polygamy this period. So I feel if you still want to go into it, make sure you are carrying your partner along. I mean, some women don't mind. They don't care. I mean, as far as you're carrying them along, as far as you're telling them, oh, baby, I'm doing this, oh, can't we just, I mean, they don't care. But once you don't do that or you don't carry that person along, it's always a big problem. And as you can see, I think May is like, she's like someone like me that cannot share her property. I'm sorry, she just cannot share. And I'm someone like that can't share. So once it's like that, I let go. And which I feel that's what she just did. And that's the best decision. Don't struggle, don't fight. It's not worth it. She just had to let go to have her peace, because there's nothing like peace of mind in this life. It's not about the money, but the peace of mind that she's having, being on her own and having her kids, because her kids are always there to make her happy as far as I'm concerned. So I know he's my colleague, my senior colleague and all that, but the way the whole thing is going is just becoming so dramatic and so annoying. And so sometimes I'll just be at work and I'll just see things popping up on my Facebook and all the rest, and I'll be like, what's all this? Can't I just open up my phone and see something else? Anytime I come to Instagram, I'm seeing this. I go to Facebook, TikTok, I'm like, what is going on? Is there any way, please, people should tell me, is there any way I can stop seeing all those adverts and just have my peace? Like, it's not funny. Forget that, we're laughing over it, but it's not funny. The lady, I can imagine what she went through. So I think she took the best decision, fighting them back with the legal whatever. That's the best way to go, because this whole thing is not easy. I can imagine what she's going through, but
that is freeze. One thing that I've noticed is this, and I've noticed is this. I see that a lot of us, or a lot of people, I'll put it in general, I'm saying us, but it doesn't look like anybody's trying to be self-conscious here, is a lot of us are unhealed people. And most people go into relationship to seek some kind of retribution or saving from something they're running away from. And they believe that another imperfect human being is the answer to something you are lacking. It's not anybody's responsibility to love you. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you get what I learned that the hard way, because we were raised to need external validation. You understand? And from an African perspective, a lot of us will have toxic parenting. You know, even those that had their parents still together. The level of toxicity of what grew us up as kind of degenerated into the neediness, the need for somebody else to complete you, and all of that. It brings a lot of toxicity when two people start to grow differently within the same ecosystem. You understand? Maybe the thought process, the emotional maturity of both parties starts to change. One person is growing more, the other person is not growing more. In the same relationship, it will just manifest into something else, and people start growing apart even when they are together, because there's not investment into your personal healing. Even there, some of us are bonded from a traumatic perspective. A lot of men and women are
It's
bonded.
called a trauma bond.
Yeah. Trauma.
And trauma bonding is because your inner self is looking for a familiar space, because it can't afford to run to the new space that looks like healing. Healing is one of the most traumatizing, non-linear, erratic phase of a human and adult life, because it's like unlearning a lot of things, relearning a lot of things, rediscovering yourself. And sometimes it happens within the marriage. It happens in the marriage.
Absolutely, ladies. Anyway, guys, lovely hanging out with you. God bless you. Kaffi, thank you so much. And Nze,
I've missed you. I've been so busy.
You've been too busy for us.
No.
Anyway, guys, let me let you go to bed. Take care. I'm sure this will evolve tomorrow. There'll be more perspectives, and I'm going to take more calls. I just needed 1 or 2 people to talk on it, and tomorrow we'll have more opportunities to open up the table. God bless you, Kaffi. Thank you so much. Take care, and good night.
Bye. Good night.